Peace and love, everyone. Welcome back to the Healing Cypher Show, and I'm your host, Queen Tamara of Ashby Home North Wellness Center. Welcome, welcome, welcome on this Monday or Moon Day. I hope everyone is well and surrounded by love, peace, and happiness. And today is a really important time in the world. It's so much going on right now, and it truly is, family, some of the worst times, and as also some of the best of times. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot of going on around the earth, not just in the so-called Middle East, what's going on in Palestine right now. I know that's a hot trending topic, and that's what a lot of people are talking about and focusing on. But that is happening, as well as a lot of conflict and confusion elsewhere in the world, especially right here where we are in the US. There's a lot of things happening. And so with that said, there's so much happening that is actually um, on people's minds, and it's creating a lot of tension. And especially people who are empaths such as myself, you may be more aware of the things that are happening, or you may feel them more intensely than some other people. And it's just so much happening everywhere. Listening to, if you're a person who watches the news, I very seldom watch it, but sometimes I listen to it in the car, and it talks about the increase in crime and violence, especially violent crime in the area that I live in. And there's an increase everywhere with just all kinds of undesirable behavior. We don't want to focus so much on the undesirable stuff and the negative stuff tonight, because we want to focus on cultivating peace in our daily lives. But these things are happening, and these negative things are having an impact on a lot of us and our sense of peace and our sense of well-being. So we want to talk tonight about ways to cultivate and maintain our own peace despite everything that's going on around us. And like I said, there's a whole lot of going on everywhere, at all times, it seems, and things seem to be heightened or more intense than they were years past, and that for a number of reasons. One, the time period that we're in. Two, with social media, we're hearing about things faster, and we have more access to news and world news and what's happening much more quickly than if you just relied on the regular media. And another reason, people have just lost their flipping rabid minds out here. So it's a lot of things that are going on now that we probably very seldom heard of before, or even never heard of before, but you're hearing about them now on a regular basis, because this is what is happening. So we're going to be focusing tonight on cultivating the peace. And peace is something that is, I think, a basic human right that we all should have. To me, peace is the absence of conflict, chaos, and confusion, because peace doesn't have to be peace is not just compromise from war and that kind of thing, but your peace can also be compromised when there's a lot of chaos around you, a lot of confusion, being around people who are just negative, and who thrive off negativity. The demons love death and dying, and love talking about things that are negative, or like harping on the negative. And so all of that can be a compromise to your peace. Uncomfortableness, all of that can compromise your peace. So you want to cultivate peace in your everyday lives. And as we can only be responsible for ourselves and for what we do. All right. And so being responsible for yourself and for what you do, you can cultivate a peaceful atmosphere within, and that will permeate outwardly. And as each person takes on that responsibility and that role to be peaceful within themselves and within their interactions with people, there'll be less and less turmoil, less and less conflict, and less bloodshed and war and all the other things that are happening. Okay, so the things that we're seeing in the world, um, the fear, the hatred, the anger, the jealousy, the narcissism, all of this leads to a desire to lash out at another. So the people that have those feelings in their heart, that is in them, and they are just acting out what's already inward in them. So when you see the negative stuff, that's an expression of who they are and what they are on the inside. You know, the things that they say, their actions. You know, I heard someone say, you, Minister Farrakhan, I heard him say, you are what you think and you are what you carry into practice. So when you see people acting out and behaving a certain way, remember that's what they are, that is in them. You know, people say, oh, you made me angry. um no, you had that anger and something happened and triggered it, but they want to blame it on another person, especially narcissists. You know, they're really good at that, making other people feel like it's their fault that they had this narcissistic rage, but it was in them, and they just chose when and where and on whom they want to unleash it, and just let it out, unleash the kraken, but it's them. So the negative things that we see is an outward expression, of these negative emotions that exist within humanity. And the more we work on ourselves and do our inner work and do our shadow work, the more we can cultivate kindness and peacefulness within. So each and every person, even the so-called light workers and the conscious people or whatever they want to call themselves, we all have some work that we have to do when it comes to healing, when it comes to working on ourselves, because everybody comes here with, regardless of how evolved you are spiritually, we all come here with some kind of work that we have to do to work on. Whatever it is, it's the journey of the soul. This is your own soul's journey that you're doing, and we all have to go through this. We all have to overcome these shortcomings or these lower aspects of ourselves, and as we work on them and we strive towards healing, we can heal those um, negative parts of ourselves, or those negative aspects of us, or those I call them the devils of the mind. We can heal that and release it. And once we heal and release it, you'll automatically become more peaceful, more harmonious, happier, more loving towards yourself and others. And so the people who act out and behave a certain way, this is that's just showing that person has some healing to do. It's like the anger and the rage and all this violence and stuff is like a cry for help in a way. And sometimes they don't know any other way to seek help other than to just be impulsively react, or to react with their fists or whatever. Some people talk with their hands. That's the only way that they know how to express themselves when they are feeling stressed, when they're feeling that flight or fight impulse or reaction. What they do is they start fighting, they start swinging, because that's what they know. This is how they defend themselves. This is how they fight anxiety, how they fight fear with attacking. So this is what some people do, and some people are just plain out of their minds, and we know this. We know it. We see it every day, and they are just all over the place and in desperate need of healing, in need of doing some inner work and some energy work. And so they just don't know what to do or what to be. So they're all over the place and they're lashing out, causing chaos, causing drama, confusion. And so all of this is just a sign to each and every one of us that we all need to work on ourselves and work on our inner selves and our shadow selves and work on healing. Anybody that says, "Oh, I don't need to heal," you number one, definitely need to heal. Everybody needs healing in some capacity. And there's different levels, just like an onion. You peel back the layers of an onion and you reveal more layers to it. The healing process is similar to that. It's like you peeling back and you're discovering new things about yourself, new wonderful things about yourself. And it's a journey. It's a journey of the soul. And so while your soul is evolving and growing and developing and you're healing, you'll reveal more parts of yourself that are in need of healing. And well, that's a wonderful thing. It's not negative in any way, because the healing is actually a blessing, because some people live their whole lives and never healed from childhood trauma or past traumas, and they carry those traumas with them throughout their lives. It was like a Siamese twin. It was just following them their whole lives and making them miserable. And, they had so many issues and pathologies because they never fully healed. And so we don't want to be that kind of person. We want to be someone who is healed, who lives a vibrant, happy, full life, a life that we all deserve to live. And so healing must begin with ourselves. And it's so much work that many of us need to do. And this is what we're seeing in the world today, just a lack of healing. And with that said, this is what is destroying the peace. Peace on earth is achievable, but like I said, it begins with ourselves. It reminds me of that song by Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. You must look at yourself and look at the things that you must change, because although we see other people acting out, there's not a lot we can do about other people's behavior. All we can do is work on our behavior. And hopefully, as we purify our hearts and purify ourselves, we can reflect that beauty of peace and the healed soul to others. And then maybe it will motivate them to seek healing and to cultivate peace within themselves. And they see other people achieving that and being happy and being at oneness. So instead of the divisiveness and the arguing about the differences, um, so lots of cultures greet each other with peace. Peace be upon you is a common greeting in a lot of cultures, or peace and love, or whatever in their language. And that's a great way to greet someone, because your peace is actually a higher state of being. And so when you're greeting someone with peace, peace be upon you, peace and blessings, peace and love, peace and wholeness, whatever you're saying that is peace, you're actually like saying a prayer for that person. You're extending and peace to the person. Because like I said, it's a higher state of being and you're wishing peace upon them. So that's why they say, in some languages, peace be upon you, is because this is extending the peace. You're greeting the person or wishing them peace. And so that's how many of us should greet each other. Even if that's not something that is a part of your culture, you may want to adopt it and start using it when you go to work every day. See if people change the way they behave or the way they respond to you. Instead of, saying hi or good morning or hey or what's up to people, just say peace, or, peace be upon you, or whatever, and say it, meaningfully, actually visualize the person being in a state of peace when you say it, and see how they respond and see how they, act, if they act differently. You want peace in the workplace, you want peace in the home, you want peace everywhere you go. And so that's a great way to start your day or start the conversation with everybody, with greeting them with peace or bestowing upon them peace. So start that, try that. That's a good way to start cultivating peace in our everyday lives. Know thyself, get to know thyself. Know thyself is something that was written over the temple doorway, and something that the ancient initiates and the mystery schools, it was the first thing that they would see when they would enter the temple was, no man, know thyself. A woman, know thyself. Man, a woman, we're the same, just like the yin and the yang. So know thyself, and getting to know thyself, areas of your life that need healing. Everybody needs some time. I call it time out time for self-reflection, for self-healing, so for self-growth. If you've never done that, then please start immediately. A few years ago, I used to lead a women's, um, like a mindfulness group at a women's shelter. And the first day in the first session, I gave, everybody a journal. And the first question that we explored was, why do you need healing? And one of the women said, nobody's ever asked me that before. Never, ever have I ever been asked, why do I need to heal? And so take that time. If you are that person who's never thought of why you need to heal, never asked, it never been asked, why do you need to heal, or never even thought about it, then maybe you should start thinking now. Think about what aspects of your life need healing, what areas in your life need to change or grow, what um, what are some areas for growth and improvement, because there's always room for improvement. Like what are some things that you can improve upon, or what are some things that you can change? If you don't like your career, reflect on that. Maybe start journal writing, and making, I always talk about writing affirmations and things like that. But if you're at a state in your life that you're not feeling at peace about, or you're not happy, you're not satisfied, and we all come to those points in our lives, and sometimes it's, every so many years, or when there's a change or transition going on in our lives. But whatever the case may be, start journaling, start writing, start thinking and reflecting on where you are in your life. Are you happy where you are? Are you satisfied where you are in your life? If it's not, why? And what can you do to change this state of dissatisfaction, or what can you do to cultivate the happiness? And once you're happier and truly at peace with your life, then you can be peaceful with others. So a person that is angry all the time and has a lot of conflict and confusion with everybody, like some people who they don't get along with anybody at home, they drove everybody away, they go to work, drive people crazy. They are pain in the behind, yelling at people. Nobody does anything right. They're always fussing. They're always angry. Blah 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 blah. Woo woo. That person is in need of healing. And so, if you are that person, or know someone that's that person, this is someone that is in need of some self reflection and some just having a zen moment and getting to know themselves. So know thyself. Know what you need to heal, what aspects of your soul need purifying, what you need to release. It could be something that you hold on to from years ago, some anger, some resentment, some hurt, you know, just focus on what you need to do for yourself to feel better and to be better, and how you can purify, how you can release the past or the negativity and feel lighter and more vibrant and more alive, and what areas need improvement, and focus on that. So if it's your career, if it's your weight, if it's your relationships, um whatever it is, your financial situation, whatever areas of your life that you feel you need to change, or surrounded in peace. So that's what you start doing, getting to know thyself, knowing what you need to work on. We got somebody in the chat. Dia, hi Dia, peace and love to you. Thank you for joining us this evening. So focus on getting to know thyself. And as you get to know yourself and start to heal and see those areas that need improvement, people can't trigger you as much. Things that used to make you angry and upset, people saying foolish things without thinking, or just doing things to aggravate you, that stuff doesn't even phase you anymore, because you no longer, they can only trigger you if it's something you haven't healed from, I think. And I think once you start healing and feeling better and cultivating that peace within your own mind, a lot of the triggers and stuff doesn't exist anymore. So get to know thyself, focus on thyself. If more people would focus on themselves and their own self improvement and their own areas of growth, there would be a lot less jealousy in the world. I think jealousy and envy, which is can be the mother of all these other negative emotions, is because these people don't feel good about themselves. And when they don't feel good about themselves, and they don't feel, when they don't value themselves, they're constantly looking at other people and what other people have and what other people are doing, and they start being angry and start hating and things like that. And it can lead to very serious crimes. A lot of horrible things have been done because out of the envy and jealousy. And it's nice to see someone with something nice and admire it, but to get to the point where you're angry and bitter and you can't stand to look at that person because they have something that you want, or they look away a certain way that you wish you looked, or whatever the case may be, that is problematic. So focus on you, cultivating you, focus on your blessings and establishing them, and don't worry about what other people have or what they're doing. Focus more on you and your growth, being thankful, being grateful and appreciative of what you have and the gifts that you have. And if you're a person who has low self-esteem, or you're struggling with things and you don't feel um like you've had a chance to really cultivate those things in yourself, start doing it. If you are someone who have been abused or felt downtrodden your whole life, and I can relate, and you feel just like you've never had a chance to really grow and blossom, like you feel like you're that flower that has been squished down in the mud and never allowed to grow, or you feel like you're that bird that their wings are in a cage or whatever, all of those analogies, and you feel like you never had a chance to really cultivate yourself in those things. Find time to assert yourself and start doing those things for yourself. Um, and if you're in a situation where you're not allowed to blossom and grow like a flower or fly free like a free bird, then you need to remove yourself from those negative situations and circumstances and people, so that you can enjoy the freedom and the peace of mind of being your own person and having your own freedom. So get to know thyself. Focus on self. Remember, self first. Remember, once you cultivate that inner peace, no one can take that from you. They may try, and don't allow them and to have that kind of control over you, that they can rob you of your peace of mind and contentment. And I know that's hard to do. It is. It really is. But you have to be the captain of your own ship, which is your mind, and you cannot let the pirates hijack your ship and disturb your peace. Do fight at any means necessary. Value yourself enough to remove yourself from negative people, negative places, negative circumstances and things. Do not let others rob you of that, because they will try. And is not fair, is not okay. And just like you would physically fight an external enemy or a pest in your house, like you wouldn't open the door and allow a rat to run in your house, certainly not. But and then if you find out one is trying to tunnel in and call, come into the house, you would call the exterminator. Well, you got to be the same way when it comes to people and things that are disturbing your inner peace and the sanctity of your mind. You have to fight it. You have, just like you would an external enemy. You might not fight with your fist or the exterminator, but you can exterminate those negative thoughts and negative people by disassociating yourself with them, um, creating boundaries, sticking to the boundaries, cutting people off if you need to, disconnecting yourself from negativity, like, spend less time with social media if you finding it is negative. Avoid negative things that you feel disturb your peace and harmony in any kind of way. And that includes, like I said, people, places, or things. If you feel your peace or your inner peace is being compromised, then remove yourself or remove those people and those circumstances from you. You have the power to do it, and you can. Practice peacefulness every day in your speech, your thoughts, and your actions. And like I said a few minutes ago, the people who speak the negativity and who do the negative acts, that's a reflection of what's going on inside them, inside their heart, which is their true mind, what's going on with them. That's the outward expression of it. So you want your outward expression to be one of peace, one of harmony, one of love, one of light. And in order to do that, you got to cultivate it within yourself first. So practice peacefulness in your thoughts. Think about what you're thinking every day. And if you find yourself thinking a lot of angry or negative thoughts, then you have to work on that and meditate on it, pray on it, do whatever spiritual practices you need to do to remove that from you, so that you can have thoughts of peace and thoughts of love all the time. Remove the negative speech from you. And that's something that I had to work on a lot. Working on the healing cipher and meeting King our day and learning how important speech is. That's one thing he taught me, how important what you speak and how you can cast spells with the things that you say. So I'm a little bit more cognizant of what I say and how I say things. I think more before I speak. Um, and just, I think part of that comes with maturity too. But you got to think about what you're saying, and and also the thoughts, your self talk. What are you saying to yourself? Are you speaking life over yourself? Are you saying peaceful things to yourself? So be careful and mindful of your speech. Cultivate that in your speech, how you're talking to your family, how you're talking to your friends, how you're talking to strangers, um, and most especially your self-talk. Make sure that you're talking to yourself in a peaceful, loving, gentle way, the way you would want someone to talk to you. That's very important. And work on your thoughts and work on your actions. Are you acting and or are you cultivating peace with your own actions? When you extend your hands out to someone, is it in a loving gesture? Is it in a loving manner? And I'm not saying go around here and just hug everyone, but which would be nice, but you can't do that. But what are you doing, with your actions? Are you being peaceful? Are you acting in a peaceful manner? Are you extending peace out to others, extending love and peace? What are you doing? And it the law of attraction does exist and does work. So the more you extend peace out to others and the more you speak lovingly and peaceful to people, they will in turn respond that way to you. Um, so practice that in your everyday life. Practice being more peaceful with yourself, with your family, with your friends, with co-workers, with strangers, um, and just spreading peace in that manner. Just it can start with just simple things, the way you talk to people, the way you think about them, and the actions that you extend to yourself, with yourself and with others. How are you acting? Are you acting peaceful? And then not just acting, be peaceful. Don't just act that way, be. So you have to cultivate that within yourself, being at peace, being an example of peace. And this is a great way to start cultivating peace in the world. Create a peaceful atmosphere around you and in your home or your sacred space. So, does your home look chaotic? Does it feel chaotic? Make it feel peaceful. Whatever peace means to you, like if you need to declutter, too much clutter can cause anxiety. Sometimes people, when they're depressed, they kind of get messy. So, if you want to shift the consciousness and get rid of the depression or the sadness or the sorrow, just clean up a bit, or clear the space, make room for more peacefulness in the home. If the house, if your home or your work environment has been chaotic in the past, or undesirable in the past, you can change that by starting to cultivate more peace in the environment, um, with your own actions, but also just create a peaceful atmosphere around you, whatever that looks like. And definitely, last but not least, pray and meditate on peace. There, we all need prayer and meditation. And someone once said to me, a wise man many years ago told me that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening for the answer. That's how I view it. And make prayer and meditation almost one and the same. They're both spiritual practices, and pray daily, whatever kind of prayers you do, it doesn't matter. Meditate, take the time to meditate. Meditation also helps calm and soothe the mind and the senses, and it helps cultivate a sense of peace within people. This is why so many healing centers and ashrams practice meditation, daily meditation. If you go to like the Buddhist monasteries, they meditate there. This is why, because it does create peacefulness within the person, as well as many other things. But that is one of the main goals of it, is to cultivate a peaceful mind and heart and atmosphere. And so do that daily. Focus on peace, say prayers for peace, peace within, peace without, world peace, um, peace wherever you are. Meditate on it. Meditate and visualize people and your surroundings being peaceful. And start your day with prayer and hopefully meditation too, and extend that peace out before you. Say, I'm going, in your prayers, say, I'm going to be surrounded by peace, or I'm going to be at peace today, or whatever it is that you intend to say. But make peacefulness a part of it. And then in your evenings, before you go to sleep and you're doing your nighttime spiritual practices, remember to include peace in that, some kind of peaceful mantra or prayer, or just visualize that peace that we're all looking for and we all deserve. So I hope this was very helpful tonight, because I see there's such a great need for peace in the world right now. And many people are tired and dismayed by the constant conflict in the world, conflict that they see all around them. And I talk to a lot of people, and through my work and what I do with Astral Healing Arts and beyond, and many people just want a peaceful solution to the world's problems. And I think a peaceful solution can be had is to many of the problems that are existing in the world, if we just come together in peace. That's the first step, coming together in peace to create peaceful solution. And so the word peaceful means full of peace. So let's be full of peace in our everyday lives, how we interact with one another, how we interact with ourselves. So let's go forward for the rest of this week in a state of peace, a higher state of being, Be peaceful in your words, your actions, and in your thoughts. And with that said, I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful, peaceful week. Love, light, and forgiveness to you all. See you next time. And stay tuned Wednesday. Wednesday, we're having Ask the Herbalist Hour once again, and we're having a special show about homeschooling and the educational system and seeking a holistic education for our children. So please stay tuned to that. And next week, hope to have some great guests in addition to Wednesday's show. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Thank you, each and every one of you, for your support, your kindness that's been extended to me, supporting my channel, supporting the show. Love, light, forgiveness, and peace to each and every one of you. See you next week.